Round two, we've got ourselves a keep here. I think we are going to do the turn 2 hanger back into the turn 3 timber pack pump play because I like it. Could also do the turn 2 timber pack wolf if I must. We'll find out. Alchemist file. Well, I think we're going to stick to our hangerback walker plan instead. So let's go walker here. So now we get to go wolf pump, which I think is pretty good. Does not pressure as much as wolf would have, but starts us going on this little engine that could. That's curious. Really needed to draw a card there, I guess. Guess I should have left up Might of the Masses. It's okay. Still seems like good value to me. Ooh, the top deck of the century. Next turn we get Knightly Valor on a token too. It's pretty awesome. Meteorite killing wolf. We get Valor and Bash for 1 million. Celestial Flare looks just amazing here on an empty board. I'm not going to show him Foundry yet. Granted, this is still in Reeves Soul territory, and this wouldn't have been, but they're both in Unholy Hunger territory, so I don't think that really matters. Tower Geist. All right. I think we've got pretty close to lethal here. Yeah, I think we actually just straight up have lethal. Fetid Imp. All right. So I think we just go Hartebeest a good draw too, jeez. He can still pump with, he can still Death Touch with Meteorite. Maybe he blocks Imp on Thopter. Let's swing team for sure, and then we'll flare and we'll figure out what we're doing from there. Actually, I guess I should have played Foundry, Hartebeest, left up Might. No, I feel like I want a Celestial Flare here. Let's see what he sacks. Pretty sure he sacks the Geist. I think Might gets us the win here, though. All we have to do is connect with this Tactician and Knight. Like, basically, I didn't even have to cast Celestial Flare. I didn't. I admit. All right. Blue-black. Control-ish looking. We've got a Read Bones. Yeah, it's pretty control looking. Reave the Soul. Stratus Walk's a curious one. That's not a very control card. Fetid Imp, though. Tower Geist. Good value cards. Alchemist Vial and Stratus Walk are the questionable ones in blue-black, only because they're more tempo or aggro cards, less control cards. But who knows? Maybe our opponent's not as control as this game would indicate. But I don't think that we've really got much of a sideboard plan, right? I mean, I've got the Caterpillar, but what do I want to bring that in for? A Meteorite? That seems like a waste. Could have Claustrophobias in there, but I want to see them first. No, I don't think we've got much of a sideboard. I could do Veteran Sidearm instead of a Combat Trick, just because Combat Tricks against decks like our opponents that likely have, Unholy Hungers, Disperses, instant speed removal. Combat Tricks do get significantly worse. Like, I could swap a Leap for a Sidearm and probably be okay with that. I kind of like how Equipment works against control decks a little bit better, if you catch my drift, since you can just make a target out of your guys, basically. They use a removal spell, and you're like, okay, well, let's equip up again. So I think this potentially works better than Mighty Leap would, especially since the creatures we saw are Towergeist and Fetid Imp, both of which fly already, making the flying claws of this a little less relevant. Let's try the Veteran Sidearm out. All right, clear a mulligan. This one will keep, although obviously we need some white mana to make this hand work. All right. Multiple Evolving Wilds, so is there a splash color? He is running Meteorite, which would lead me to believe yes, there is. Oof. That was a rough one. Alright, well, gonna need white mana or else we're pretty much not doing anything. Guess technically I could rip 3 forests and crack a foundry and then leap, but I would prefer to just draw a white mana. No splash color. Alright, I'm curious. Why the Meteorite and multiple Evolving Wilds? Not that Evolving Wilds ever bad in a 2-color deck, but having too many of them can gum you up a little bit. Alright, I mean, we're in some pretty serious trouble if we can't find a white mana here. If we find white mana, at least we can hold back the Geist. Or could get Reeves sold, I guess. No, I guess we can just sack in response, so it's not even a big deal. Yeah, we really just need to rip a white mana, and we're in actual pretty good shape. I would prefer to not rip an Evolving Wilds. I cannot tell a lie. I would love to draw Plains. I would settle for Evolving Wilds, but I would much prefer a Plains. Opponent's tanking hard on this Towergeist. Must be quite the decision. All right. Let's see what my opponent is choosing. I'm sorry. Oh, maybe they just were away from the computer for a sec, so it wasn't actual. Or maybe they're apologizing because they're like, I'm sorry, I'm about to beat your face in. All right, discard the Alchemist Vial. I think it was more of just they were away from their computer for a sec. No big deal. Whatever. Ooh, rough. All right. Let's bring out the sidearm. I mean, we're not in ridiculous danger yet, but I am going to actually have to play something here soon, or we're going to be in big trouble. Uh-oh. Sigil Starfish. Well, I have a lot of experience with how good that card is. Opponent's got some very high value spells here. All right, let's just rip a Plains and start playing this. Start playing this game. Well, at least he doesn't have an artifact. Oh no, Willbreaker. Yeah, unfortunately Willbreaker is absolutely insane against us too. Absolutely insane. But I guess it doesn't matter if we can't even draw white mana, jeez. Well, the nice thing is actually Evolutionary Leap is pretty good against Willbreaker. Just sack in response. So at least we have like something we can do. But yeah, we are absolutely getting thrashed this game. This is one of those embarrassing, I wish I could do something, but I haven't done anything for whatever turn it is. Turn 6. I haven't done anything for 6 turns. We've done actual nothing. Alright. We are very dead next turn and still couldn't find the white mana. Alright, well, some games you do nothing, some games you do something. Alright, let's go to game 3. Hope it's one of those games where we do something. Do I want to bring in Caterpillar yet? No, I don't think so. I still don't think so. Willbreaker, though. Yeah, Willbreaker's pretty annoying. Nothing to be done. Alright, let's do it. We'll play first. And yeah, we can keep this one. Thankfully, we can actually appear to be able to make plays this game, which is always positive. Actually, a decent draw. So we get to go Aven into Alpha into Tactician currently, which I think is pretty good. Starfish turn 2 is quite the thing. Upkeep scrying, okay. Uh-oh. Oh, and he had the follow-up black man. I was going to say, no follow-up black man and we're in good shape. I think I have to offer the trade. Here's the thing. I could play Alpha, pass, and force my opponent to keep up a black mana for the rest of the game. Think I'm just going to have to be willing to trade an Aven for a Fetid Imp. I don't love it. In fact, I don't like it. But I'm going to allow it. I admit, I don't like it. I really don't. But it's a trade I got to be willing to make because, like I said, if I'm hoping my opponent doesn't leave up a black mana for the rest of the game, I feel as though that's not going to pan out as well as I want it to. Combat tricks, however, not so good. I can give my guy trample. Well, that might actually be a thing. So I can play Tactician and play Might of the Masses, or I can swing with Alpha, Titanic Growth, give trample. I don't mind that actually. Let's it pushes a lot of damage through. And trades a Titanic Growth for an Undead Servant and gets us damage. I think it's I think it's ultimately worth it. If he doesn't block, it's a bit awkward, but I guess I do still play Tactician. I feel like trading combat tricks right now is good, though. And pushing through damage is also good. And I feel like Mighty the Masses is one of those cards that could be better later. So let that resolve. Give Trample. Get in for 6 damage. Not too bad. He's doing a lot of upkeep scrying, but I guess if you're not going to block, why not, right? Ooh. Read the Bones is spicy for us. I mean, it's good for my opponent. But Evolving Wilds doesn't let him Reave Soul, which I kind of like. Opponent's got some good card advantage going, though. Ooh, Anointer's good. All right, let's go Anointer, Tactician. Could Might of the Masses get in for 7, but I think we're gonna hold off on that. Oh, he is splashing. All right, we're going to bust the Might. Ooh. Patron, sexy. Cannot afford to give Trample, so let's just get in for 4. I want to play the Patron pretty clearly. See if our opponent tops or bottoms. This is kind of good information to have. Bottoms, so did not find an answer there, or not necessarily didn't find an answer, but didn't find an answer on top of the library. It doesn't mean that there's not something spicy in the hand. Fetid Imp. All right. Still has to kill that alpha, or the Trample's just going to be too good, I imagine. Where do we get Knightly Valor? Jeez. Do I even want to cast Knightly Valor? Not really, right? Because then I can't give Trample. I think we just want to swing. Send to Sleep? Could be Send to Sleep. Doesn't look like Send to Sleep, though. So, I mean, my opponent's in some pretty serious trouble here. Sweet. got the match. Very satisfying win, especially after that game 2 being unable to find our white mana. So awesome. Made it to the finals. We'll see you then.